It's actually March 9th, day 4. Welcome back to again. I had another dream about that day 19 years ago. I saw the house going up in flames. I could hardly breathe with all that smoke. I was scared and I cried out. "Help Danny! Please, someone help Danny!" But Danny was nowhere to be found, and the house burned to the ground. And then it dawned on me that I was the only one left. That's when I woke up. Traumatic dreams aside, welcome back to work. Are you sure about this, Jay? Positive. I must have looked over those pictures from the investigation 100 times. The vision I saw yesterday at Hotel Miranda made it crystal clear who killed Sam Coolidge. It was the victim of the second Providence murder, Charles Smith. If what you're saying is true, and it's a mess, I know. Does this mean Charles Smith is Providence? It's hard to say. After all, Charles Smith was killed right after he murdered Sam. Anyway, what we can learn from this is there is more than one killer involved in the murders. I can't think of any other explanation. So there's actually more than one Providence? It's certainly possible. We need to hurry up and figure out what happened 19 years ago. A new discovery is bound to be a significant piece of the puzzle. Now we just gotta figure out where that piece fits and what it tells us. Right. How about we go over the Charles Smith murder again before we head out? Yeah, sounds good. Alright, let's do that. Charles Smith murder. Alright, give me a rundown on the Charles Smith murder. It happened on March 3rd, 1991, only 3 days after Sam was killed. The victim was a taxi driver, Charles Smith. He was found shot to death in a parking garage. The weapon was determined to be a .22 caliber handgun. At first, it was thought to be a burglary, but no money was taken from the taxi. The Eye of Providence was found next to Mr. Smith's body. This is what led police to believe it was a serial murder connected to Sam's death, along with the letter regarding the crime which was sent to the newspaper. There were no witnesses, the murder weapon was never found, and the case remains unsolved to this day. The crime scene? Okay, give me some info on where Charles Smith was murdered. The Grand Park garage is where it happened. There's a Cindy-owned parking garage right next to Grand Park. There's a basement floor and the 2 floors above that. The taxi that Charles was using was parked on the basement floor. Were there any clues left at the scene? Nothing significant besides the Eye of Providence. There's a cigarette butt found on the ground near the taxi, though. Traces of the victim's saliva were found on it. Oh, and 4 bullet holes were found at the scene. 3 in the wall and 1 in the ceiling near fluorescent light. You can go to Central Grand Parking Garage now. Cool. Other info. Anything else about this case I need to know? Local police set up an office exclusively for the investigation into the Providence murders after this happened. More investigators were put on the case, including a new lead detective. Wait a minute. You're saying a detective other than Philip Robbins was put in charge after the second murder? Uh-huh. And his name's Burnett Johnson. Burnett Johnson. Why do I know that name? Oh yeah, he's the president of the Johnson & Company. Johnson & Co., the largest business in Clockford. That can't be a coincidence. Victim's family? What do we know about Charles Smith's family? Back then, he had a house in the suburbs with his mother and daughter. No wife? Apparently not. He was born and raised in Clockford, and the file says he'd never been out of the city in his life. I wonder if his family still has that house in the burbs. You can go to his house now. Ooh. What's on the agenda today? Well, obviously we gotta reinvestigate the Charles Smith murder. I say we get some more info on Mr. Smith. Should we question his family? Absolutely. Then we gotta ask Philip Robbins whatever he can remember about the case. Sounds good. But before that, we really gotta update Henry on our investigation. Alright, almost forgot. Should we keep out the part about the next victim being the murderer, or... Morning, boss. Jay, how's the investigation? We got some new info out of the guy who'd found Sam's Coolidge is dead. That would be Alfred Brown, right? The victim's co-worker. That's right. Mr. Brown found Sam dead in room 315 of Hotel Miranda. He actually moved the body. Moved it. Why was Alfred clammed up about that until now? Because he moved the body to steal Sam's wallet. I'll be damned. Alfred knew there was a lotto ticket worth $2,000 in that wallet. Before calling for help, he lifted the wallet from Sam's corpse. I'll be damned. You got that much out of him? Now that we know Providence didn't steal the wallet, it's safe to say Providence himself wasn't after the lotto ticket. Which basically confirms that it wasn't money he was after. And what could have driven Providence to carry out all those murders? I imagine he was craving infamy, or possibly motivated by some sort of grudge. What do you think, Jay? Currently, attention. If it wasn't money he was after, it must have been some sick desire for attention. Considering the 5 murders he committed 19 years ago, and the possibility that this recent murder was him too, the only thing I can think of is that he takes pleasure in killing. That's right, which is why I want you to get out there and get that sick bastard off the streets. Yes, sir. One of these days we'll find out what really happened, from Providence himself. Absolutely, if you keep this investigation in full swing anyway. We'd managed to dig up a significant piece of the puzzle that's been buried all these years. Unfortunately, it doesn't tell us anything about the identity of Providence, though. I wouldn't say that, Jay. In order to clear up what exactly took place back then, you gotta put this thing together piece by piece with a clear, thorough investigation. If you can do that, I guarantee you'll find out the truth about Providence. Yes, sir. If we can keep uncovering new pieces of the puzzle like this, I know we'll find out who's behind the Providence murders. That's the spirit. Today we're planning to look into his second crime, the Charles Smith murder. Good, then get out of here and find me some evidence. Good thinking, Kate. Thank you for not blurting out the fact that it was the second victim. Because that would just... how the heck do we know this? So as suggested, we're gonna forget about the garage for a moment. And we're gonna go to his house if he still lives there. Hopefully he does. Otherwise, I don't know. This is where Charles Smith used to live. It seems like his family is still here. Let's go ask some questions. Can I help you? I'm Jonathan Weaver, FBI. Kate Hathaway, FBI. We're investigating an incident that occurred 19 years ago. You're from the FBI. You must be Charles Smith's daughter. That's right. Witness, Lily Smith. 21. Daughter of the second victim, Charles Smith. Married, maiden name Smith. What? Oh, she's married, it's just... Why is that important? I don't know. Oh, Garfield, that's why. Okay, never mind, it's fine. Are you aware of the homicide they declared at the Libertine Hotel 3 days ago? I saw it on the news. I guess there was an eye of Providence next to the body. Just like what happened to Dad 19 years ago. Yes, ma'am. Does this mean Providence is back out there again? It might. We've reopened an unsolved case from 19 years ago, in hopes of bringing Providence to justice. Which is why you're here today, I guess, to ask me about my father. Yes, ma'am. I hope you don't mind if we ask you a few questions. I don't see the point in asking now. You people would have put more effort into this case back then. Providence would have been arrested. And then we wouldn't have had to live in constant misery all these years. Miss Smith, you can trust me when I say that I know how you feel. And in order to prevent this tragedy from happening to other families across the city, we reopened the investigation to get Providence behind bars as soon as we can. So please cooperate with us. Alright. I mean, she ain't wrong. Charles Smith. Can you tell us about your father? Dad died when I was 12. My parents were at each other's throats back then, and Mom had already left the house. I was raised in this house by Dad and his mother. My father was a man of few words, and he could be blunt at times. But to me, he was always a gentleman. After Mom left, he'd take me for a drive around Clockford in his taxi, whenever he saw the slightest bit of sadness in my eyes. He turned up the radio full blast, and you know what he said to me? Go ahead and cry, Lily. I cry like this too when I feel sad sometimes. He thought the world of his family, you know. I can't imagine why anyone would want to hurt him. Still to this day, it puzzles me how my father got caught up in all this and ended up dead. Did your father ever speak of a man by the name of Sam Coolidge? Not that I know of. They didn't talk much about his social life with the family. He never brought friends over to the house. I see. Interesting. I don't think I have any more for you, so thank you. Did you get anything useful out of that? We sure did. We'll do whatever we can to catch your father's killer. I hope you'll continue to cooperate with us. Just promise you'll bring Providence to justice. I mean, we're gonna try our best. Like, he's killing people again? Like, that's not okay. Philip Robbins, hey dude, why was somebody else put on the case and not you? What's up with that? Let's see if Mr. Robbins is home. Weaver, FBI. Why did you... You've seen him like twice, I think. A couple times. Hello. You two again. What is it today? I told you more than enough about the same Coolidge murder. Yes, sir. Thanks to your cooperation, we uncovered a significant fact in that case. A significant fact? Uh-huh. We discovered the man who found Sam's body, Alfred Brown, also stole his wallet. And there was a lotto ticket worth $20,000 in that wallet. What? Then Alfred killed Sam to get a hold of that ticket. Not exactly. Alfred didn't kill Sam. He's definitely not Providence. Hold on there, Mr. Weaver. Are you telling me you got you pegged as a suspect? Not yet. But I'm confident we'll get an ID on Providence during this investigation. That's good to hear. We've reopened the second case from 19 years back. Charles Smith murder. You came here today to question me about that case. I'll ask away then. I'll be more than happy to cooperate. Well, good. Thanks. I appreciate it. Charles Smith. I'd like to ask about the second victim, Charles Smith. I remember a lot about Charles Smith. He and I both were born and raised in this town, you know. In fact, I'd seen him around ever since he was a kid. Is that right? I wouldn't say we were good friends or anything like that. He was a blunt man and didn't say an awful lot, but he didn't have any enemies as far as I know. Now, he was on bad terms with his wife, and they split up, but other than that, he stayed out of trouble. It baffles me why in the world Providence would kill Charles of all people. And Mr. Charles. I'm wondering about the first two victims, Sam Coolidge and Charles Smith. Do you know if they were friends? No, I don't think those two ever met. I don't remember there being a report for that either. Bert Johnson. Why aren't you the lead? What's up with that? I heard another detective was assigned to the Charles Smith murder. That's right, Bernard Johnson. Tell me a little about this Bernard Johnson. You'd probably already know this, but he's the Providence of Johnson and Co. now. I knew it wasn't a coincidence. Interesting. Well, Bernie Johnson knew how to get things done and almost got his criminal. Almost always got his criminal. And aside to that Providence case, he put everything he had into it. But in the end, he couldn't get the killer, and the case went unsolved. Bernie quit the force after that. You still in contact with him? Not in the slightest. In fact, Bernie's severed all ties with his old friend since he left the force. Apparently, he gets pretty irritated when anyone brings up his detective years. Well, that doesn't sound good for getting any information out of him, but hey, we can try. Thanks for your time, sir. You've been a great help. I might have to ask you some more questions later on. I might not be the sharpest tool in the shed nowadays, but I'll tell you whatever I can remember. I'd sure like to ask Bernard Johnson a thing or two now. Let's get over there. I can go to Johnson & Co. now. Okay, cool. Let's go there then. See if he'll talk to us without getting pissed off. We're gonna talk to him about his detective days because, I mean, he was the lead detective. He has information we'd probably like to know. This is the Johnson & Co. building. It's huge. I wonder if we can get in without an appointment. Let's go find out. Who are you? Bernard Johnson, witness. 55, corporate exec, former detective. John Weaver, FBI. Kate Hathaway, FBI. I don't remember setting up any visits with the FBI. We're investigating the Providence murders from 19 years ago. We heard you were the lead detective on one of those cases and came in for a questioning. I've got nothing to say to the FBI at this point. Except for them kindly leave my office. I'm a busy man. This is regarding a criminal investigation. You could just spare a few... Look, I have a client coming in. We'll have to do this later. But this should be of significant interest to you. Another homicide was just committed that closely resembles one of the Providence murders. Being a former detective on this case doesn't even raise an eyebrow. Look, I'll talk to you about this later. You need to make an appointment, okay? Fine, we'll be back later then. We'll make an appointment. Let's get Hugo to look into Burnett for us. Sounds good. We're racking up a lot of favors we owe him back, but hey. Hugo, it's Jay. What's up, Jay? Hoping to know who the president of Johnson & Co. is. Sure, Burnett Johnson. Former hard-nosed detective turned richest guy in the city. Rumor has it he's mulling over a run for mayor. Back when he was a detective, his last case was one of the Providence murders. Wow, that's news to me. I thought so, which is why I thought you... Say no more. You want me to do some digging on Burnett Johnson, right? Exactly. He cut almost all ties with his connections on the force, and apparently doesn't like talking about those days. Huh, there's gotta be something to that. Anyway, I'm on it. Thanks, Hugo. Let's hold off on questioning Burnett Johnson until Hugo digs up something on him. Good idea. Well, let's see. At this point, we could go investigate the garage, but I think I'm gonna hold on that for the minute, and I'm gonna go see our friends at the CPD and see if they have anything new for me. If not, I'll just go investigate the scene for a bit, and then, you know, whatever. That's right. See what you can get out of him on that. Detective Martinez. Yeah? What do you want? Anything new in the Libertine Hotel case? Look at my face and tell me what you think. I've got next to nothing. Sorry to hear that. So am I. This case is a real pain. Some higher-ups on the force know you reopened the old case. I'm worried this could be the start of another killing spree. Much as I'd love to catch the perp and find out he's just some attention whore, something tells me it's gonna get way messier. Charles Smith, what do you know? You got anything on Providence second victim, Charles Smith? Taxi driver killed at Grand Park Garage. I thought you two were looking into the old murders, not me. You do your job, I'll do mine. Oh, okay then, mister. I just wanted to ask. Who knows if you have some unforeseen information. That's pretty much it. Okay, see you around. Not openly hostile, just a little gruff, which is fine. Let's go see Maureen. Let's see here. 1 down, 3 to go. Maureen, can you spare a minute? Oh, hi, Jay. You look as busy as ever. Yeah, it never ends. But knowing that my work helps investigation makes it all worthwhile. We're reinvestigating the Charles Smith murder now. Ah, that would be the second victim back then, the taxi driver. Wasn't he murdered in the parking garage at Grand Park? That's right. I'll be happy to help in any way I can. Forensics have advanced by leaps and bounds, you know. Things we couldn't figure out 19 years ago are likely to be possible today. Thanks, Marine. We'll let you know. You do that. Anything else to tell me? What do you know about Charles Smith? Anything? Do you have anything on Providence' second victim, Charles Smith? Nothing that's not already on the file. Oh, okay. Thanks anyway. I got nothing. Okay. Oops, that's not the button I wanted to hit. Move. Better get going now, Marine. Thanks for your help anyway. Okay, don't be a stranger. Okay. I mean, this is a scotch earlier than I would usually like it, but I don't want to jump into the parking garage and then stop 2 seconds in. So, I'm gonna end it a little early, but it's fine. It's like 27 minutes anyway, so whatever. So next time when we come back to again, we will investigate the Grand Park garage and see what we can find. You know, anything of interest. Like, you know, just see what we find that's different and see where that leads us talking to people. Just see where that takes us. So, until next time.